English for Public Administration 2. By Dina Penn. Unit 13. Public Budget. Recording 13.1. Public Budget. Budgets, from French budget, purse, include an accounting of all expenditures and revenues. A budget is a plan for saving and spending. The public budget is an annual plan of the government, outlining planned revenues and expenditures of the public, and is usually approved by the highest governmental bodies, such as the Parliament, municipal councils, regional or provincial councils, known as legislature. Having a public budget is the most important policy, known as economics or fiscal policy, for implementing the citizens' rights. Right to health, rights to education, rights to housing, social security, etc. The public budget is also an important document for ensuring that users of drugs have access to harm reduction programs, and their health rights are respected. Unless the government allocates an adequate level of budget resources for their implementation, the existing public policies and laws are just empty promises. Government budgets reflect the country or government's priorities, and are a very good indicator of the level of its commitment to implementing international and national obligations towards improving the health status of people who use drugs. Whatever the government level, the budget funds are allocated to satisfy these public functions: health, security, public order, peace and defense, economic development, environment protection, education, social protection, cultural preservation, etc. The public budgets are broken down into two sections: projected revenues and projected expenditures. The projected revenues section of the public budget provides the number of funds expected to be collected through the calendar year from various sources to cover the expenses for performing the main budget functions. The government collects funds from tax revenues, profit taxes, income taxes, property taxes, taxes on goods and services, taxes from international trade, taxes on special services, etc. Non-tax revenues or tax-exempt income, user fees, fines, income derived from the work of public enterprises, service charges, etc. Capital revenues include the sale of public property, public goods, land and assets, dividends, etc. Donations and transfers, transfers from other levels of government. Example: transfers from the central government to the local government, capital donations, etc. Internal borrowing can include short-term or long-term public bonds, borrowing from domestic creditors, commercial banks, etc. External borrowings, borrowings from external creditors, foreign government or international development agencies, and other forms of revenue. In the projected expenditures section of the public budget, the government outlines how much money is expected to be spent on implementing the main budget functions throughout the fiscal year. Budget expenses show what and how a government intends to spend the government's revenues. Government expenses are usually split into two categories: ongoing running costs, commonly called operational, recurrent, or administration costs, and one-time costs with long-term benefits, commonly called development or program costs, including capital items such as roads, buildings, and equipment. Public expenditures can be divided into the following categories: salary, goods and services, include communication, heating, electricity, maintenance, materials, small inventions, and contracting. The capital expenditures may include construction, equipment purchases, furniture purchases, automobile purchases, and strategic items purchases. Interest payment, installment payments, other expenditures. Thanks for watching.